All right, Connor, in this video, we're going to talk about one area in which you can get better to make yourself a more consistent and powerful hitter. And it all has to do with what you do with your lower half early in your swing. And so I'm going to begin by showing you the flaw, and then I'm going to go backwards and show you how you can fix it. So one of the big things as a hitter is when we get into our stride and our front foot lands on the ground right here, as you can see with Utley, we want to make sure that our knees are equally bent. Okay, so if I draw a straight line from knee to knee here, you're going to see that both knees are equally flexed. And as a result of that, hitting really starts from the ground up. As a result of having the knees bent like this, you can see that his hips are square. Okay, and that's huge for balance, and it's huge for leg drive. If we get to this position, it's going to be a whole lot easier to drive with our lower half as we take our swing. And the more we can drive with our lower half, the easier it is to get our hands in the hitting zone and get extended later on in the swing. Okay, so with that in mind, what I want to do is show you what you look like when your foot hits the ground. So we're going to go ahead here and get you into your stride. Right there, your front foot lands. And what I want you to notice here is look where your back knee is in relationship to your front knee. You're working uphill, which means it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to drive off your legs and create that power with your lower half. You'll also notice that your hips are kind of working uphill as well. You see the back hip here and the front hip here. So everything's working uphill, and that's going to make it more difficult for you to be balanced as a hitter and to create leg drive with your lower half. And that's going to affect later on how you get extended. You see here, your hands don't really get extended away from your body like Utley's do. And as a result, you're going to see this top hand roll over real early in the zone. Whereas with Utley, he doesn't roll over till later, and he's able to get a nice high finish. With you see your finish is really low here. Okay, and as a hitter, we want to be short two, long through the zone, and a high finish. So that's something to think about. Now that we've identified the flaw, let's go back and explain some simple things you can do to improve it. First thing, I want you to notice his back foot. And then I want you to notice Chase Utley's back foot. Look how his toe is pointed towards us. Notice where your toe is pointed. This way. And so it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to drive off our back leg when this foot is not squared up to us. So a simple fix to start is to make sure that you look like this right here on the back foot. The second thing I want you to think about is what your back knee does in your negative move. I want you to take a look at Chase Utley here. I'm going to put a little dot on his knee. And you're going to notice when he does his negative move, this knee is going to stay inside the back foot and it's not going to move. All right, we get him here. There's his negative move, and look how that back knee stays right there. And what that enables him to do is keep the weight loaded on the inside of his back leg. So he's loading against the inside of his back leg so that later on when he takes his stride, that weight can shift into the front foot and drive off the back side, which is going to create more power. Now, when you take your negative move, you're going to notice that your knee kind of lifts up and goes backwards. I'm going to put a little dot right here. And watch, as you begin your negative move, right there, you can see how the knee goes back and it goes up. And so you're really not using the ground to create power. You're leaking energy. And as a result, later on in your swing, you're not going to get as much leg drive as Chase Utley does. Watch him when he plants his front foot. Look at the leg drive here and watch you at your heel plant. A little bit different. You can see the push off on this back foot, and you can see that your back foot is kind of planted and a little bit weak on the drive. And so why is that important later on in the swing? Like I said, when you get to contact, it makes it difficult for you to get the hands extended. All right, so that's something to think about. Try it out and see how it works for you. I think it's going to really help you get that weight shifted and drive the ball with authority.